I am 30 years old now. My name is Jack. If you were to step into my life today, you'd see a man who lives by the clock. I have meetings that start on the hour, a phone that buzzes with notifications from a world that never stops talking, and a kitchen that usually smells more like takeout containers than home-cooked meals. But sometimes, when the winter wind rattles my apartment window just right, or when I see a stray dusting of flour on a countertop, the walls of my modern life start to fade. The noise of the city dies down, and I find myself walking back into the most sacred room of my past. I find myself standing in the doorway of the childhood vault. Welcome back. Today, I'm opening a door to a memory so warm, so golden, and so fragrant that I can almost feel the flour on my nose just talking about it. It was a Saturday afternoon, 21 years ago. I was 9 years old, just at that age where I thought I was getting too big for kid stuff, but still small enough to be completely mesmerized by the magic of my grandmother's kitchen. My sister, Hope, was 7. She was a bundle of energy, with pigtails that never stayed even, her eyes always wide, with a curiosity that could dismantle a watch, or, in this case, a ball of dough. We weren't alone. The kitchen was a beautiful, chaotic symphony of family. Our cousins were there, crowded around the old, scarred wooden table that had seen more family history than any photo album. And at the center of it all, like a conductor leading a masterpiece, was Grandma. If you could see that kitchen, it looked like it was painted by a master of light. It was rustic and cozy, with wooden walls that seemed to hum with the warmth of the stove. From the rafters hung bundles of dried herbs, sage, thyme, and rosemary, and strings of bright red peppers that caught the afternoon sun. The light spilled through the window in thick golden ribbons, illuminating the dust motes dancing in the air, and turning the steam rising from the traditional cooking pot into a silver mist. Grandma was a force of nature. She had gentle European Canadian features, with silver hair tied back in a low, sensible bun, and small round glasses that always seemed to be perched on the very tip of her nose. She didn't use measuring cups. She didn't use a timer. She cooked by the feel of the air and the weight of the dough. That afternoon, she was teaching us the art of the dumpling. To a 9-year-old boy, a ball of dough is just a toy. But to Grandma, it was a canvas. I remember watching her hands, strong, practiced hands that had spent decades feeding the people she loved. She'd take a piece of dough, roll it between her palms, and with a flick of her thumb, it would become a perfect translucent circle. "Watch closely, Jack," she'd say, her voice as smooth as the flour. "The dough has to be thin enough to see the light, but strong enough to hold the heart." Hope was leaning so far over the table, she was practically in the flour. She was fascinated by the way the dumplings were neatly arranged on the bamboo tray, like little white soldiers waiting for their turn in the pot. We were all watching with that pure childhood curiosity, the kind of focus that adults usually lose somewhere along the way. Grandma gave each of us a small piece of dough. Mine was lumpy. Hope's was more of a triangle than a circle. One of our cousins managed to get flour in his eyebrows within the first 5 minutes. Grandma just laughed, a warm, infectious sound that made the rustic kitchen feel like the safest place on earth. She taught us how to spoon the filling, a savory mix of garden vegetables and secret spices, into the center. She taught us how to pinch the edges together, creating those delicate little pleats that look like a closed fan. Don't rush it, she'd remind us. If you rush a dumpling, it'll break in the water. Good things take the time they take. It was a lesson in patience disguised as a cooking class. As we worked, the kitchen filled with the scent of the simmering pot on the stove. It was a deep, wholesome smell. The kind that promises you that everything is going to be okay. We talked about school, about the dreams we had, and about the stories Grandma would tell us of her own childhood. In that moment, there was no past and no future. There was just the feel of the dough, the warmth of the golden light, and the steady intergenerational bond that only happens over a wooden table. We were learning more than how to make a meal. We were learning how to be a family. We were learning that the most important ingredient in anything isn't found in a spice rack. It's the love that goes into the shaping of it. I remember when the first batch was finally ready. Grandma carefully dropped them into the pot, and we all crowded around, watching them bob and weave in the steam. When she finally served them, they were perfect. Even the lumpy ones we had made tasted like a 5-star feast because we had made them together. Now, as a 30-year-old man, I find myself looking for that feeling in the aisles of grocery stores or in fancy restaurants. But you can't buy home. You can't manufacture the warmth of a grandmother's kitchen. Grandma is gone now, and the old rustic kitchen has changed hands. But when I close my eyes, I'm back there. I'm 9 years old. My hands are covered in flour, and I'm watching the silver-haired woman in the round glasses create magic out of nothing but dough and water. I see Hope's pigtails and hear the laughter of my cousins. I feel the golden light on my back. This is why the childhood vault exists. It's a place for us to keep these memories from fading. Because as long as we remember the smell of the herbs and the touch of the dough, we never truly have to say goodbye to the people who shaped us. But I want to hear from you. We all have a grandma's kitchen in our minds. What was the one dish that defined your childhood? Who was the person who taught you that good things take time? Was it dumplings, a specific pie, or maybe just the way someone made toast on a rainy morning? Please share your stories in the comments below. I read every single one, and I love how our shared memories turn this channel into a community of warmth. Let's fill the comments with the scents and sounds of the kitchens that raised us. If this trip back to that golden afternoon touched your heart, please hit the subscribe button and join us here at the Childhood Vault. We are building a library of the heart, one hand-drawn memory at a time. Like this video to help other people find their way back to their own childhood warmth, and share it with a sibling or a cousin who was there with you at the table. I'm Jack. Thank you for stepping into the vault with me today. Keep your memories warm, cherish your traditions, and I'll see you in the next story. The kitchen is always open.